All right, guys, happy new year. Welcome back to the Becca Believes YouTube channel and what is becoming our annual New Year's Day live stream. It wasn't actually until yesterday on New Year's Eve of 2021/2022 that I thought, I did a live stream on January 1st last year. Maybe I should make that a thing on the channel. By the way, first things first, I know my webcam kind of gives me a, Casper the Friendly Ghost skin tone. We're just going with that today and we're dealing with it because we've got an important topic to talk about. So, without too much further ado, last year, our topic that we discussed on January 1st was all about managing expectations, goals, and productivity when you're dealing with chronic illness. And that's still a really important topic. However, if you've been around this channel at all, you know that the focus of this channel has necessarily kind of shifted. The very condensed version for the reason why it has shifted is this past summer and fall, I had a pretty major relapse of my eating disorder, and I have necessarily had to turn this channel into a way to process my own recovery process and getting back, or yeah, to literally process on camera, and then also to chronicle and share my recovery process as I go through it and am doing all this again at 33, which I haven't done in like 10 years. The last time I had to go into treatment was in 2011. So it's been a heck of a past several months. But what I wanted to talk about today is this whole concept, and I'm sure you've seen it all over everywhere, social media, in real life, or wherever. I'm sure you've seen people post it. I'm sure you've heard people say it. And if you're like me, you've probably been a little annoyed by it. And that is the concept of new year, new me. Now, there are several reasons why I do not like that statement. And we're going to get to the whole list. Don't worry, we're going to get to the list. But before we get to the list, before we do, I just want to propose it. Instead of saying new year, new me, we just scratch that out and you may have seen it in the thumbnail. I just want to change it to new year, now me. And the reason we're making that change, one, is because it literally just changes one letter. We're changing that E to an O to make it now in that second one. But also, it's just such a much more powerful refrain because, okay, you know that when you hear new year, new me, what everybody means when they say that is, oh, here's this new diet culture bandwagon I'm jumping on. Here's this new weight loss program disguised as a wellness protocol, but it's really a weight loss program that I'm going to fail in a month. And then they're going to try to make me feel bad for failing it. But then I'm going to do it again all next year because, new year, new me. No. So we're new year, now me is the phrase we're going. When you're saying new year, new me, you're just kind of implying who you are is not enough. Who you are is not okay. There is something inherently wrong with you. And that's, being a Christian, of course, there is the whole concept of being a sinner and all those things. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about showing up in your life, saying, changing it to new year, now me, instead of implying, oh, I need to fix something and become a different person. You're instead you're not implying that who you are as a soul and being in this world is only worthy by making these drastic, unsustainable changes that are, whether it's your diet, your exercise, or anything else related to appearance. Because again, when you see new year, new me, especially online, especially in 2021, 10 times out of 10, I just about guarantee it's someone changing something about their appearance, or they may tell you it's their health and wellness, but no, it's really about weight, and that's a bunch of bullcrap. So moving on. I kind of like I said, I got ahead of myself a minute ago. The point I was going to get to is that okay, guys, I've got notes here. I'm consulting the notes. I've frozen up going live now. So we're going to gather ourselves here. We're going to just gather ourselves, take a breath, and say, okay, yeah. So also by saying new year, now me, by saying now me instead of new me, you're making an intentional commitment to be yourself this year, to show up as yourself. And you're making a commitment to yourself that this year, no matter what, you will show up now. You will be present now. You will, guys, I'm a mess. And that's who I am today. So I'm showing up as myself, the mess that I am today. uh, okay, by saying now me, you're making an intentional commitment to yourself that this year, no matter what, you will show up now to be present and connect with who you actually are at your core, not a societally sanctioned, social media curated, perfect highlight reel version of yourself. Because we all know that's not true. And By the way, I'm also counting all of that diet culture BS that promotes itself as not a diet, but is actually 100% in fact a diet. Noom, I'm looking at you. Nobody got time for you. In 2020, yes, 2022, that's the year we're in now. Yeah, that's the year we're in now. All right, continuing on. By saying now me, you're intentional, or you're making an intentional commitment to show up for yourself this year, no matter what. You show up now as you, connected with who you actually are at your core. We just talked about this and I just repeated that point. So I am very clearly nailing this today. Also, by saying now me, you're actively saying, I'm choosing to prioritize myself and my recovery this year. I am learning what works for me and what doesn't serve me well. And you're going to focus on nourishing your body, your mind, and your spirit, because it's all necessary for really prioritizing recovery and reclaiming your life, like the title of the video says. By saying now me, you are committing to taking action this year, today, and every day this year, to discover everything that God has for you in your life. Because your purpose and all of that, it's not something that you can really discover when you're stuck in the spiral and storm of chaos and disorder. By saying now me again, going kind of back to the nourishing your body, soul, and mind thing, you are intentionally not falling prey to the guaranteed to fail diet industry's promises they don't intend to keep, to quote Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast. And you're instead just saying, okay, I'm committing to showing up as me and doing what it takes to be me, not to be whatever society is telling me I have to do to change my body, to change my weight, to change my looks, to change my appearance, to change who I am, because no, who I am is actually pretty cool. And I want to figure out who that is. And honestly, when you're in recovery, and I've told this to Roger many times, I don't really know who I am as an adult in this world. And that's kind of what I'm committing to learning this year. So this is the year. Now is the time. So kind of along with that, by saying now me, you're reinforcing to your brain that there actually is a you worth unearthing. And I'm going back and forth between me and you because I'm sharing this as truth with you, but this is also stuff that I have written down to remind myself so I can cling to it throughout the year and go back and watch this probably mess of a live stream throughout the year. So yeah, you're, just by changing that wording from new year, new me to new year, now me, you're reinforcing to your brain. You're like giving yourself the message of, hey, guess what? There is a me out there that's worth connecting to, a me out there that a me out there who has a purpose that nobody else in the world can fulfill. And I want to figure out who that is, but I can't figure out who that is if I'm trying to make a new me, because I don't even know who me is. So no, we are now going to figure out who me is, who I am, who you are. That's our goal this year. Now, me. Prioritizing that, prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your recovery, because you, the you that is inside your core, is worth unearthing, even if your eating disorder, even if your chronic illness, even if any other diagnosis or life circumstances try to tell you that it is what defines you. No, that is not what defines you. Sorry, hold on. Yeah. Okay, your diagnoses in no way define you. And by simply acknowledging that you are making the active choice to find and connect with me, or you, of course, if you're talking about yourself, or if I'm talking to you, you're already taking the first huge major step toward losing any of those misplaced identity lies. And you are acknowledging that, hey, there's a possibility that I'm so much more than my mind, my limited mind, has ever let me actually believe. And right now, this is the year I'm going to figure it out and connect with that person. Let's look in the chat here for a second. Just reading through the messages. Hi, thank you for joining, by the way. I appreciate you joining the stream. Just reading through your chat messages right now. I will, actually, I will come back to your, I'll answer it right now. I'll address your message. Let's see. Okay, so you're having a difficult time right now, but you're determined to recover. However, you always feel like you are not good enough and you have to suffer. That's a hard one. And I'll tell you, you are not alone in that. And you feel like you'll start gaining weight too fast. But also, I see you want to start sharing your journey online and set up a nonprofit organization to help others. So first of all, before we get back to the stream, I just want to address those comments in the chat. That second one, that is such an amazing goal. I want to just share your journey online and to set up a nonprofit to help others. That is so amazing. I love that goal. And I want to remind you that the first message that you shared in the chat, you are never going to feel ready to recover. Your disorder will never let you feel like you are good enough or sick enough or like you have to suffer a certain amount before you're allowed to recover. That's all a lie. That's all lies with this disorder. And if those things were true, you would never actually make the choice to recover, because your eating disorder will never tell you that you are to a place where you have to do that. And when it comes to the gaining weight thing, I'm in the process of weight restoration myself. I try to rephrase that as brain restoration, because what you're really gaining is weight, but also more than that, brain power and personality that you never should have lost in the first place. So I know it's scary. I know that it's hard to trust the process, but I also know, literally because I'm living it right now, it is possible to take action and commit to taking those actions, knowing that even if it results in temporary anxiety and just feeling like crap in the moment, long term, it's worth it. But if you don't if you don't make the choice to take the actions in the moment, yeah, sure, maybe your ED behaviors will give you temporary anxiety, but then you're going to be living a life of misery. So just wanted to answer those comments really quick there from the chat before we continue. So, getting back to now me here, the new year, now me. By saying now me, you're taking a giant leap of faith into, yeah, what may be unknown. And if anyone knows me, you know that I'm not a fan of the unknown. I like certainty. I like rules. I like knowing what is going to happen. I just like the known. And recovery is very much an unknown process. However, how are you going to learn to figure out who you are? How am I going to learn to figure out who I am as Becca, as a 33-year-old adult living in this world, if I don't take the leap of faith into what is the unknown, meaning I don't know who I am, but I have to do all of these scary, uncertain things to eventually get to the place where I know and find out who I am. I don't know if that made sense. I hope you're tracking with me here. But basically, you're taking that leap of faith into the unknown, which again, yes, absolutely terrifies me too. But even when you can't see the path clearly, you have the responsibility, I have the responsibility of choosing to traverse it and finding and discovering and connecting with my authentic self along the way, because that's the only way, connecting to your deeper why, connecting to your bigger purpose. It's the only way we get through any of this. Also, by saying now me, you are actively refusing. We kind of touched on this in a minute, but I'm coming back to it because it is that important. By saying now me, you're actively refusing to bow to the idol that is diet culture. And I say it like, I say the word idol because there's this concept of worship or the concept of worship that Roger and I were kind of discussing. He was doing it in a study at church recently. And it says, basically the gist is, if there is anything in your life that you are giving more attention to, that you are dedicating more of your time to, that you are having in your head more than your relationship with God or more than your actual spirit of worship, that thing has kind of become your idol. So as much as I don't like to admit it, yeah, my eating disorder slash weight loss slash trying to shrink myself and who I am, not just my body, but who I am, because that's what the disorder will tell you to do, is that you don't belong in this world and you deserve to minimize yourself because the world doesn't need you. That's a lie. The world needs you. And the world needs you to find you now. So new year, now me. But what I was coming back there, guys, I know I'm jumping all over, but basically, you're refusing to bow to the idol that is diet culture, which does become an idol, like I was describing. Um, and the people that do get stuck in that cycle, it makes me sad because I know I've been there. I know so many people, family, friends, people I've known my entire life who are still stuck in that at 80, 90 years old. And I'm thankful that at 33, I'm doing the hard work to get out of it, because I don't want anyone to have to be stuck in that for their life. And if me doing the hard work now in this year then helps me be able to give others hope that they can do that work and get out of that cycle of bondage of constantly thinking, oh, new year, new me, time to do weight loss. And then again, quitting after a month and starting again in 11 months because it's never sustainable. Just want you to know, goodness, guys, I'm getting a little worked up. Yeah, it's a futile pursuit. The whole diet culture, all the things that it promises, all of that things that it becomes an idol. It's a futile pursuit. It's ever-changing goals. And by saying now me, you're saying, nope, not today, Satan. You don't have power over my now. Now I'm choosing to reclaim my power, and I'm not willing to wait any longer. And okay, let's go back to the chat real quick. Let's see. Please couldn't touch somehow. I don't know anyone. Yes, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, so apologies if not, but Simona, if that is how you pronounce your name, I hope it is. If not, I think I'm talking to you, because I believe you are the other one in the chat right now. If you want to try to get in contact with me on Instagram after this, we can do that. I can type my Instagram handle in the chat if you want. And then also, I believe there is a YouTube messaging function, but I will definitely want to try to connect with you more after this. I just put my Instagram handle in the chat. If you are on there, definitely find me there. I can't wait to talk more. I don't have this all figured out, but I'm literally going through it right now. So while I don't have all the answers, I definitely do understand. And my inbox is always open. Even if I can't always reply immediately, I will always eventually get back to you. Okay, good. I just thought you said that would be great. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here today. All right, before we finish to like the second half-ish of this stream, I made made a big like in caps here in my notes, something that I did not want to forget to say. My word for the year for 2022, and I meant to say this at the beginning because it kind of applies to the whole stream, is now. And if you've seen any of the videos on the channel before, you might have seen that I have like in my little channel bumper or intro, it has a little like moving diagram where you're typing a search bar says it's now or never, and then it backspaces the or never and just adds a period to it's now. Because that's been a phrase, the whole it's now, not it's now or never, but it's now. That has been coming up for the past few months to me, which is why my word of the year for 2022 is in fact now. And one important point that I want to make about this though, it is not pressure to do every single thing in recovery perfectly right the very first time, every single moment of now. It is just now actively choosing to take the next step, to take the next action, even if you don't feel like it. In other words, and this was what I had in caps here, I said, you're not trying to Veruca Salt your recovery here. Meaning, if you're a fan of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Veruca Salt, the song that she sings, her catchphrase, I want it now. I want it now. Just, don't care how, I want it now. Yeah, don't care how, I do want recovery now. But I also acknowledge it's a long process. So you're not getting impatient here with yourself. You're giving yourself grace and self-compassion because those are two absolutely vital ingredients to being able to heal in any way whatsoever and to figure out who you are in the now and to connect with you and to reclaim your life. So you're not trying to Veruca Salt your recovery here, but you are taking action now. So even if it won't necessarily happen instantaneously, you're committing to taking that action. So yeah, I might want it now, but since I know I can't have it in its full manifestation right now, don't care how, I'm going to take action now. Oh, there's what we're going with on that one. Okay, so let's regather again here. New Year's Day live streams are always a different breed of live streams. It's I'm a little romantic about the new year. I know it's just another day technically, but I'm just such a hopeless romantic about the new year and a clean slate and a fresh start. And honestly, I've actually been rewatching the show Ally McBeal lately, and she has a very romanticized view of life, which is actually why I started rewatching it because it kind of helps me connect with that side of myself. So, it's not that necessarily January 1st is a magical day. However, there is just some kind of beautiful magic and power in, hey, guess what? It's a new sheet on the calendar. It's a new year. We're flipping that page over. It's a new day. It's a clean state. It's a fresh, clean slate. It's a fresh start. Those are the words I was trying to get to. And here's the thing. With this whole not saying new year, new me, and instead saying new year, now me, one thing that we're doing here is it's showing that we're not trying to force our bodies into something that it's not designed to be. I'm not trying to force my body into something society is telling me I need to make it be. Now, I want to add a disclaimer here. I realize that in both my eating disorder and in recovery and in my entire life, I have existed in a body that is in a society where I have thin privilege. And that is something that is not like all I mean by that is that there are certain obstacles that people in larger bodies would have to face in the world that those of us who have not or have not yet been in that position do not have to face. And I'm not making a big statement about that right now. I just wanted to acknowledge and not ignore the fact that I am not trying to talk about a reality that I don't understand. So I just wanted to clarify that. However, I'm also no longer going to try to force myself and to force my body into something that it isn't designed to be, because instead I'm more focused on reclaiming me, reclaiming who I am now in 2022 as a 33-year-old, because to be honest, again, have no clue who that is. And honestly, me, and I say me in quotes because I'm talking about me, but also like you, me, you, all of that, we are so much more valuable. There is so much more to us. There are so many more interesting things, so many more important things, so many more valuable things to celebrate about ourselves than the way that our body looks, than our appearance in any way, or even our health status. If you're dealing with chronic illness, like I have multiple chronic illnesses that keep me stuck in bed a lot of the time. And it's very easy to start defining yourself by your chronic physical illnesses, by any of your mental health struggles. But there is so much more to you than any of that. And trying to, I'm just trying to think of the right words here, trying to force your body into this picture that society says it has to be, and not even necessarily one specific ideal, but trying to force yourself into doing 75 hard, which is basically 75 disordered, or whole 30, which is whole deprivation, or noom, which, by the way, again, said it's not a diet, is very much exactly a diet. All of that stuff, that's not what we're doing anymore. We're not trying to force our bodies and reclaim this and claim this unrealistic, unsustainable ideal of fitness and wellness and health, none of which these things actually are in the new year. But we're reclaiming me. You're reclaiming you. I'm reclaiming me. Because as a person, you have intrinsic value, both within yourself and also to offer the world. And the world needs to hear your message. And here's the cool thing. Here's something I've realized this year. Even if you don't know exactly what your message is that you're supposed to share with the world still needs to hear it. And there's still someone out there who needs to hear your exact message. And it's only by doing the work on yourselves or on yourself and connecting with who you are in the now that you're going to be able to then figure out exactly what that purpose is, exactly what your unique message is, and exactly how you're going to be able to share it with the world. So that was not something that I had in my notes, but I had to add that on there. Also, oh yeah, and also just kind of on that, I said, reclaiming me. I'm reclaiming me this year, the year of now, so I can fulfill my life's calling and then help others in due time. So I know that that's a goal that many of us have who are going through this struggle. We want to be able to use it to help. Oh, my papers are falling all over the place now. We want to be able to use our own struggle to help others. And I just want to say this, and I'm saying, know that I'm saying this again from a place of experience. You cannot ever really help others in a lasting, significant way until you've done the work and helped yourself. And that doesn't mean you're doing it on your own. Reach out for help and support of any kind that you can get, of any kind that you're able to access, because you can't really, I mean, you can do this on your own, but it's much better with even just one other person to kind of help just know what you're going through. However, it's only once you do the work and reconnect with yourself and make your own recovery a priority and get to that place of healing where you will be able to help others. That's why I added that help others in due time, because it does take time and it is a process, but that's why we're doing it now. Now, before we close out today, I just wanted to go over another short little list here of things that reclaiming me opens a door to. It says, reclaiming me opens a door of untapped potential and possibility. And in the process of reclaiming myself, I am also reclaiming my personality, which is a huge thing for me because with my eating disorder, when it is in the front seat and kind of running the show, my personality is gone. It does not exist. And I honestly, I think I love my personality. I might not know exactly who I am, but I think I love my personality. And I don't love when my eating disorder steals my personality. Likewise, I'm reclaiming my joy because your eating disorder will steal all of your ability to feel any sense of joy whatsoever. So, reclaiming personality, reclaiming joy, reclaiming my ability to surrender and let God lead me in whatever He has for my life, reclaiming my ability to live out that God given purpose and my life's calling, like we were just talking about a second ago. Reclaiming the ability to let go and surrender, even when it seems like I have plenty of reasons to just say, no, I want to hold on to this disorder because it's helping me deal with all of these other hard things in life. No, your eating disorder will be an effective coping mechanism in the moment, in that it numbs you out from dealing with the hard things. However, it also screws you over for the rest of your life the longer you stay stuck in it. And I'm speaking from a place of literal, right now, firsthand experience. So, reclaiming the ability to let go and surrender to the process. And for me, one of my biggest goals in this process is being able to sing the hymn, I Surrender All, specifically the line that says, I surrender all, I surrender all. Well, that's actually just that line, the line of I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior, I surrender all. There's always been kind of this contingency in my life where I always felt like the past 18 years I've been kind of adding in I surrender all but my eating disorder. I surrender all but the control that I have with this disordered mechanism, which is not actual control, falsely perceived sense of control, of course, but reclaiming the ability to let go and surrender, even when it seems like you have reasons to just resist and give up. No, it's now you're reclaiming that ability to surrender and let go, even if it's scary to let go and embrace the unknown. Also, reclaiming your time, because one of the things that your eating disorder, at least one that I know mine does, is it gives me something to focus on during the day because my life a lot of times feels chaotic even outside of the disorder because of my chronic illnesses. And yeah, it serves the purpose of giving me something to do during the day, but is that really what I want to spend my time doing? Is that really what you want to spend your time doing? I mean, honestly, do you really want to spend your time in a year from now when we're talking on January 1st, 2023, which sounds crazy to say right now, but we will be doing another January 1st live stream next year. Do you want to be thinking about all of the time that you spent in 2022 wasted on nothing but logging in MyFitnessPal or walking aimlessly for hours just to get your step count up, or any number of disordered behaviors that I'm not going to start listing here because it's pointless. But if you have a disorder or if you're involved in diet culture in any way, you probably know what a lot of them are. Do you want to spend your time looking back on 2022 thinking, oh my gosh, here are the hundreds of hours that I wasted doing nothing but thinking about food, my appearance, weight, my body, anything like that? Or, and this is the next biggest point on the reclaiming here, do you want to be like, hey, guess what? I used 2022 as a time to reclaim my presence, to reclaim being present with my family. For me, that's being present with my husband every day because my eating disorder honestly kind of turns me into a jerk, even if I'm not trying to be. And it, again, takes away my personality. So it's not fun for my husband to be around. I mean, like, it's not fun for him to be around me when I'm in that. And it's not fun for me to be around him because I know that it's just creating tension and I don't like creating tension. So, what do I want to do this year? I want to reclaim now my ability to be present in my day-to-day life with my husband, with our dog, who honestly, yeah, she bites me sometimes and she's not my biggest fan, but I love her. And then also with my family, both in town and out of town, and with friends and with my church, just anyone. I want to be able to be present and to show up as myself. And that's not something that any of us can do when we're in the middle of disorder and chaos. So, closing out this stream today, taking a deep breath first as I'm checking the chat really quickly. Let's see, this says being in the now and in the new year is also letting go of the past. We can't change our past. We can change our future. Yes. And in his presence daily live. Oh my goodness. Yes. I've got chills right now. Thank you for sharing those. In his presence daily live. Oh, I surrender all. Oh my gosh. I've got chills right now. Thank you so much. But absolutely, that comment in the chat is absolutely right. Being in the now and being present and choosing now to take action, whether it's related to an eating disorder, mental illness, chronic illness, or life in general, you're letting go of the past, which doesn't mean that you're saying the past wasn't important, because whatever past you have, it shaped who you are today. However, it serves no purpose to dwell there. And I'm thinking of the verse, and of course, I am not thinking of the reference right now, and I should have looked this up. But we're letting go of what was behind, and we're pressing forward to what lies before. So that's something Paul said, I do believe. Anyway, as we're closing out the stream here, I'm doing this now. Like I said, we're not Veruca Salt in recovery here. We're not saying don't care how I want it now, right now, or don't care how I want it now, right now, this second it's going to happen. But we are saying don't care how, I'm taking action right now. I'm committing to doing this right now. And I told you my word for the year, or word of the year for 2022 is now. But my kind of like subword, my subheading word is unshakable. And the reason that unshakable is my other word is because, first of all, back to now, I have to do this work right now, but it can only be effectively done, like the comment in the chat says, if I'm living daily in Jesus' presence and I am standing on the firm, unshakable foundation in Christ, because it's really the only thing that is unshakable is the foundation that we have in Christ. Trying to let our foundation be anything else, trying to make your foundation be, oh, here's my eating disorder, that's going to be the foundation I stake my life on. That's a crappy foundation. That's worse than any sand or other things. No, we're on the rock here. We're looking for the unshakable foundation. So that's another word I'm carrying with me throughout 2022. But it all comes back to now, because as I've said time and time again over the past few months, when it comes to choosing recovery, when it comes to choosing to take the hard actions, even when you really don't want to and you really don't feel like it can't even be it's now or never, because that gives you leeway to say, okay, well, it's never. It's never. No, it's now, period. This is the year we're reclaiming our lives. At least I am. So I'm saying it right now for you. If you're watching on the other end, you need to reclaim your life. This is the year you're reclaiming your life, and I'm claiming it for you right now. And just kind of wanted to end on I'm losing my breath, guys. Thought I was more prepared for this today. Oh, let's see in the chat here, Philippians 3:13 and 14. I think that is actually, I do think that is the correct reference for that verse. I will have to look that up later. I can't look it up right now because I don't want to waste your time on the stream. But in the chat, I believe that that is the correct verse. And I had a feeling that if someone was on the stream, that they would end up sharing that, because I think the person that shared it is one of her verses too that she enjoys. Um, a couple notes on setting goals for the year as we close out this stream. Now, I'm a big fan of not setting resolutions, simply because resolutions, society has turned them once again mostly into things that are about weight loss and diet culture BS. But also, resolutions kind of set you up for this black and white, pass and fail like mentality. Like, if I can't do this exactly right every day this year, then I failed. So I might not even try. I'll just try next year. New year, new me, huh? No, we're doing it now. So what we're doing, and like, even goals themselves can kind of get that way if you're not vigilant about making sure that they're intentional goals. So while setting goals for the year can be very energizing and honestly extremely useful, I prefer thinking of it as setting intentions for my life instead of the black and white, unrealistic, pass fail type of goals and resolutions. So an example of that would be, make one of your goals. If you want to use the word resolution, go ahead and use the word resolution. But what you need to do is try to make it something like, find a way to laugh every day instead of always be positive no matter what. Because that last one's not realistic. And there are so many people that get wrapped up in toxic positivity as a New Year's resolution. And then the first time they have a negative thought, they start beating themselves up. And they're like, oh, I failed my goal because I had a negative thought. No, you're human. We feel a broad spectrum of emotions. So trying to make sure that you set an intentional goal to have even just a single moment of laughter in every day is not only a much more achievable goal slash resolution, but is something that it will add so much joy to your life. And I know that, again, because it's something that I do, and it's something something I try to do, I should say. And it's something that I am intentionally going to try to do this year, because connecting with joy is a huge part of connecting to who I am. Because overall, I'm a pretty joyful person, but my disorder has completely stolen that joy for the past several months. And I'm not okay with that anymore. And I hope you're not either. Let's see. Oh, yeah, just on the chat, she loves that one, setting the goal to laugh. Yes, I am a huge fan of that one, and that is one of my top goals this year, find a way to laugh every day. Another example here is, say a lot of people are like, I want to get my new morning routine up at 5 a.m. I'm going to go through this whole list of 10 different steps every morning before I get up and go to work. And like, here's the thing, instead of setting all of those guidelines for yourself, just say, okay, well, I'm going to come up with a consistent morning routine. Maybe have a couple things that you want to do every day, but also intentionally in your morning routine plan. I challenge you to write down the words, something to the effect of, but this can change if it needs to. But literally just having that little caveat in there gives you the permission to adapt and be flexible on a day when maybe your health isn't cooperating. Maybe your life circumstances don't allow you to do this long, drawn out, extensive morning routine that you've decided you wanted to do. And then again, you're going to start beating yourself up for failure. And then again, you're going to feel like, oh crap, might as well just wait till next year. No, the time is now. Build that flexibility into whatever your goals are, because you have to have self-compassion and grace when you are setting your intentions for the year. Otherwise, again, you're setting yourself up for failure. And I don't think any of us want to do that. So if we know better, we can do better. Can't do better until we know better. When we do know better, we can do better, and we have to do better. So got kind of off on a tangent there, but the very last note kind of ties into the self-compassion, and it is setting the goal of prioritizing self-compassion versus living with the ideology of no pain, no gain. I got to do this all wholeheartedly, perfectly right now. I don't know if you realize all of these goals that I'm saying not to set are ones that are black and white, pass or fail. If you screw them up once, you're setting yourself up for just saying, okay, well, screw it the rest of the year. I'll try again next year. Versus these things that I'm saying to do, which is yeah, it might be similar goals, but you're giving yourself that flexibility within that goal framework. And you're really just kind of setting an intention to make the year the best that you can, whether that's with laughter, whether that's with flexibility in your routine. I included that one in there because I love routine and I love rules. As a person, that's just who I've always been. However, both my eating disorder and OCD also love routine and love rules. So I'm constantly having to parse out, okay, which ones are serving me? Which ones are not serving me? What do I need to discard? What can I actually hold on to that's going to help? And then channel that into a way that is helping me connect with the now in 2022, reclaiming my life, reclaiming my personality, reclaiming my joy, reclaiming my ability to surrender all, and also being present in my life as myself with my husband, with my family, with my friends, with my mentee, with anyone that I happen to have the blessing of encountering. It's just now. It's got to be now. I did not have a great way to end this, but we're landing the plane here and saying thank you for joining today. I hope that 2022, if you have found yourself in the trap of new year, new me, diet culture BS, I hope that you're able to break free from that and realize that it's not only not sustainable, but it's just setting yourself up for failure. And it's actually the diet industry setting you up for failure and then setting it up to blame you for the failure that they have caused you to have, which wasn't actually your failure, but they're going to tell you it's your failure so that next year you do the exact same thing. So why not now? Why not make 2022 the year that you finally say, I'm out, I'm done. That does not serve me. I'm going to make choices that do. Prioritize self compassion. Get rid of the pass fail. If you don't do one thing perfectly, then the whole year's ruined. That's not the way life works. And again, reiterating all this stuff for myself as much as anyone else. So thank you for joining the stream today. I hope that you have a wonderful 2022. Even if it's a difficult one, know that you can still choose joy. And I think that setting the goal of laughing every day at least once is a pretty worthwhile goal for everyone. So we're going to end on that note today. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.